Hello everybody. So today we are going to talk about ballad. Now this is a form of poetry. Now if you look at what ballad really is or where it originated, we find that this was a form that Anglo-Saxons brought to England. So it was during their period that much ballads were available, or it was daily used, or it was their usual routine to sing ballads in the evening. So it was a time period when written literature was not much famous and only oral literature was available. So ballads were also part of the oral literature of Anglo-Saxons. So today we do not have much of Anglo-Saxon ballads available to the readers or to the literature students. So let's see what is a ballad. Now, this is a tale in form of a song. So, this is a story which is being presented in the form of a song for enjoyment. So, this is usually the evening enjoyment of Anglo-Saxon people. So, they used to narrate a story in the form of a song, sing it in the form of a song. Now, what is a ballad? It can be a single song or it can be also a collection of songs. So, this ballad usually was famous with wandering singers because it was sung by wandering singers from one village to another village. So, a group of singers will be basically for ballad, they will be singing ballad from village to village and entertaining people. So this is how ballad was much famous during Anglo-Saxon or during the early period of English literature. Now this was usually sung to the accompaniment of a harp or a fiddle, which is a musical instrument. So a ballad is a song with a tale for the audience, and it was accompanied usually by a harp or a fiddle. Now, if you look at the theme of a ballad would usually contain brave deeds and heroic exploits of a hero or a knight or a legend. So, this person on whom the ballad is written would be of very much historical importance. And now, the major objective of a ballad is to entertain and excite emotion among the audience or among the readers. So, earlier it was audience, and today it is readers because it's not presented orally these days. Now, it has its basis in history. It can be of history. Now, these ballads usually were written on real things or real heroes and real knights and all. Now, they were usually based on the history of a place or of a country where or a kingdom where great heroes will be available, and on them these ballads were written. So it can be also based on unwritten history because during the early period much of things were not written down, they were orally presented. So even from ballads we get to know some of the historical part of olden days. So they can be based on a legend or a supernatural folklore or something like that. Now, in a ballad, personal thought have no place. No, it doesn't talk about a person's subjective emotions and all that. It is based on somebody who is very much famous or so who has done some kind of heroic deeds that has impressed much more people, like that. Now, if you look at the language and structure of a ballad, the language of ballad is formalized and conventional. So it is of a formal type because it was being presented to a group of audience, so it should be formalized, and it is also conventional type that was commonly a language that is commonly available at that particular period of time, so that the people could be more much accessible to the content that is being presented. Now, here the poet usually narrates a complex tale in simple and direct manner. So the language used would be much simple, much common to the common people's language, and the tale presented would be a much complex tale. So it would be presented in such a manner that it could reach the common people in wider proportion. So this ballad has a structure to be written. down. So it is usually written in 4-line stanzas that are called quatrains, and it is also written in iambic meter. The meter used is iambic, and in this 4-line stanza, the first and third line have 4 iambic feet, and the second and fourth line have 3 iambic feet. So this is the basic structure of writing a ballad, or this was usually the structure in which ballads were presented in olden days. Now, if you look at the famous ballads available these days, then uh, 3 of them are The Rime of Ancient Mariner by S.T. Coleridge, La Bella's Dame Sam's Mercy by John Keats, and The Lady of Shalott by Tennyson. So these are some of the famous ballads available these days. So that's it about ballad. Thank you.